So you're allowed to use your cell phones in the hallway, in the cafeteria, and in the quad. And so as far as grade levels, that's only for high school. Middle school has a different set of rules as to when they can use their cell phones. And so they can use their cell phones at lunch, and then that's it. The rest of the time they have to be in their lockers or their backpacks.
So the thought behind the active school zones would include things like pep rallies, parking lot immediately after school, football games, track meets, any kind of event that is school sponsored and you are there for a school event. So the idea is to keep down some of the cyberbullying that had been detected, and I think it's just a way for students to focus in on more of how they're using their cell phones and what they're doing with them, why they're choosing to use it in that manner. So that is more what it's about. That, and also when you're in an assembly, for example, or in a senior meeting or a class meeting of some kind, and you have your cell phone out and you're sitting there on your phone, you're not getting the information that you need to get. And most of the time, if they have bothered to call a meeting for your entire grade or the entire school, it's pretty important. So it is important for the students to be able to listen and focus in on what's going on around them.
The bus policy is that typically the bus driver is not going to be able to watch for those because he will be driving. But if there is an incident that happens on the bus that is related to the cell phone, then that will automatically come into play. The information is on the website in the cell phone policy that's printed, and then it's enforced. As I walk down the hall, unfortunately, there have been several times I've passed kids who have been on their phones, and so we just take their phones up then and call parents and have the parents come pick them up. The cafeteria is pretty open. One thing that I do want to say that's been a little bit of an unawareness on students is that at no point are you allowed to do videos. You're not allowed to take pictures. You're not allowed to post on social media. So there are some do not allows in the cell phone policy that govern from school day, all day, 7:45 to 2:45.
Dr. Harwood has communicated that currently, as the cell phone policy bans phones on the bus as well, administrators plan to change the wording of the policy next year. Quote, overall, time on the bus is considered before and after school, so phones can be used. However, since the bus ride to school technically begins school supervision of students, phones must be used appropriately, and consequences would be given if it is determined that a student used it inappropriately on the bus, end quote. This bus cell phone policy can be enforced through tips from bus drivers or from other students. Additionally, phones are not allowed on buses during school field trips, which is another thing to be clarified in next year's policy.